Hello everyone and welcome back to the RG Models 86 channel. In this video I'll be reviewing the Great Northern Railway Stirling single by Rapido Trains UK, where I'll take you through the details, running qualities, and put the model through its paces. Let's get started. Upon opening the box, the first thing you'll see will be the operation manual for the model. This contains everything you need to know, including the best place to handle the model so as not to damage any of the fine details. It's a good idea to read the manual thoroughly before proceeding any further. There's also an accessories bag included, which contains additional details to fit at the modeller's discretion, amongst which are the wheel splashers that fit between the wheels of the leading bogie. Now I mention these because it seems that some Stirling singles have unfortunately left the factory without the adjusting screws fitted to them. These screws are what hold the wheel splashers in place. My model, as you can see, is one such example, but don't panic if yours is also affected. Just get in touch with Rapido and they'll send you the screws if you wish to add the splashers to your model. Now, let's examine this little beauty up close. When it comes to the details, this has to be one of the best models Rapido has done to date. In terms of the build quality, the model sports a metal boiler, cab, and running board, which gives it significant weight for such a small locomotive. In addition to the loco body, even the tender, which 9 times out of 10 is moulded in plastic, is also made of metal. As you can see in these close-ups, the model is bristling with separately fitted and moulded details, which are so numerous to list off that I'm just going to let the images on the screen speak for themselves. Turning to the cab, you can see we have the controls and the pipework picked out in brass, silver and red paint apps. We even have printed dials on the gauges and black and white barber pole striping on the gauge glass. Absolutely superb. There's nothing else to be said. The Stirling single is presented in a very fine shade of Doncaster green, complete with a satin finish, giving the paintwork a high-quality sheen. The black and white lining has been printed sharp and crisp without any blemishes. The same goes for the even finer red lining along the running board, cab steps, tender frames, and axle boxes. Likewise, the lettering and the numbering on the front buffer beam, cab sides, and tender have also been flawlessly produced. Now, one detail I almost overlooked was the builder's plates, and that was simply because I couldn't find them at first. It was only after a close examination with a magnifying glass that I eventually found them on the side of the running board above the single drive wheels. In this extreme close-up, you can see just how perfectly legible they are. Further testament to the standards of quality Rapido puts into their products. So now we've had a close look at the details, let's pop the bonnet and see what makes this model tick. The powerhouse of this model comes in the form of a large 5-pole motor with a brass flywheel to provide smooth running. In reality, the Stirling single relied on its sole driving axle for propulsion. However, for this model, Rapido knew it would need more than just that, so the rear pony truck has been geared up to the motor to provide additional tractive effort. However, don't expect this locomotive to move the earth. Remember, this is an early pre-grouping loco. It's not meant to pull big express passenger trains of the grouping era and beyond. There is a slight issue in terms of the serviceability of the mechanism in that you can't access the gears from below without dismantling the brake rigging which is over the basekeeper plate. Given the fragility of this model, I don't really want to be pulling any of this apart, so it's best to oil the gears from above via the worm gear when it comes time to service the model. For DCC operators, the tender is where you'll find the 21-pin decoder socket along with pre-fitted speakers for those wanting digital sound. Connecting the locomotive to the tender is a simple matter of lining up the 8 pins of the male connector on the rear of the loco with the corresponding female connector on the front of the tender. It's recommended to join the two parts together on a firm, flat surface or on straight track. If you find this difficult, then Rapido have uploaded a video onto their YouTube channel showing you how to connect the loco and the tender together whilst holding the two halves in your hands. And now comes the moment you've been waiting for, the performance. So let's get her onto the track. As you can see, the Stirling single is a very slow and smooth runner. Although it must be said, even before I ran the model in, it was already a smooth runner. It's also sensibly geared so that the model doesn't fly around the track at ridiculous speeds, plus the rear pony truck doesn't rotate at a different rate to the wheels of the leading bogie. When running at moderate speeds, the model seems to just effortlessly glide along the track. It's amazing to watch, it really is. Now, I'm going to subject the model to a strength test by seeing how many coaches it can take up the incline on this layout. Sadly, I don't have any GNR livery coach in stock, so instead we'll have to use these 4 Hornby LNER T coaches. Although something tells me we're not going to be using all of them in this test, but let's see how she does. We'll start with just one coach. So she's running up at medium speed. She seems to be okay for now. And oh dear, that's not a good sign. Just one coach and she's already being held back. Okay, this time I've turned the dial up on the controller to a prototypical speed that I'd be comfortable having her run normally. Let's see if she can do it this time. Oh, only just. I think we know how this ends, but for the sake of thoroughness, let's try 2 coaches. Now I've got her going faster this time because she's pulling twice the load. And already she's struggling. She's losing it. She's losing it. And she's lost it. Yeah, unfortunately, the gradients on this layout are just too much for her. Now, I should point out that the inclines here are as shallow as they can possibly be for this layout. However, if you have a layout at home with shallower gradients than I do, you may fare better results than what I did. And just to prove that she can pull all 4 of them on flat and level track, here's a shot of her doing it. So, what do I think of the Stirling single? Well, I love it. I absolutely love it. The intricate details, the sublime paint job, the smooth running, this model has it all. Now, when it comes to servicing the model, being able to remove the base keeper plate without the brake rigging being in the way would have been great, and the lack of screws to fit the wheel splashes is rather unfortunate. But these are all minor issues which are easily overcome, and they certainly don't tarnish what is yet another fine model from Rapido Trains. I can't wait to see what they announce next. Well, that wraps it up for this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and as an added bonus, I'll be uploading a separate video soon after this one, showing the Stirling single in all her beauty, without my annoying voice talking away over the footage. I've been RG Models 86, and until I see you in the next video, stay safe and well. Bye everyone.